Defend yourself against DDoS attacks by hiding your true IP address with ExpressVPN, and visit my custom link expressvpn.com/ghilliemaster in the description to find out how you can get an extra 3 months free. Hey everyone, and welcome to another GTA Online video here on the channel. Today I want to talk about some things that the summer DLC needs to get right in order for the DLC to be perceived well by the community. These are, of course, just my opinion, but I feel like a lot of people would also agree with the things I have to say. So the first thing, the new business, it should not be done the same way that the Chop Shop business works, where you only have 3 missions a week to do, and then you have almost no purpose to use that business until the following week when it refreshes. And what scares me about this is I can imagine an exact scenario where this could be the case. Imagine the new property. You have 3 jail cells, and on a bulletin board or whatever, there are 3 wanted posters for 3 different targets. You see where I'm going with this? Those 3 targets could be weekly targets, and then once you capture them all, then that's all the content you have for that week, and you have to wait until the following week for it to refresh. That is not at all how the business should be done. That made me get really bored of the Chop Shop business early on. How I think it should work is a hybrid between the Red Dead Online bounty system and security contracts within GTA Online. Take the legendary bounty system from Red Dead, where you have a target with a more drawn out and unique mission that pays more money, but have the cooldown be a couple of hours so those are more rare to do, you can't just spam those. And then have the other general targets that pay less money, but you can do them more often if you so desire. I also think it would be cool to have different sub-objectives while on the missions, like taking out the target in a non-lethal way, doing the mission in a certain amount of time, whatever challenge makes sense for the mission at hand. You know, just different challenges here and there to encourage different playstyles for each mission. I feel like that would help the missions be less repetitive in the end. The second thing, Vigilante missions need to come back with this update. And when I say Vigilante missions, I don't mean the new business. I mean if you own a cop car, you can either click R3 to start up Vigilante missions, or you can access the police computer in the car and find targets like the way in GTA 4. Although the GTA 4 way would be too similar to the new business, or at least my concept of it, so I think they should just do it the classic way, where you start the mission, and the game keeps giving you targets to go and eliminate, kind of like the taxi work, but instead of driving people around, you're just going to take out enemies. And maybe further along the line, they get harder and harder, and there ends up being like convoys of enemies to take out, or multiple enemies instead of just one, just like the old GTA games. And there also needs to be a good reward at the end of this, maybe a new way to call off a wanted level, or maybe a new ability in general that works like Out of Sight does, but instead of it hiding you from the radar, it basically just eliminates the ability to get cops within that radius, unless you actually shoot at a cop. So the same parameters that would break the cops turn blind eye basically would break this new feature. And people have been asking for a way to just turn off the wanted level for doing things like car shows or PvPing without having the cops. So this would be an interesting way to handle that, because it would be just in that specific area, while at the same time serving as a great reward for playing the new content. Number 3 on my list is that we need proper cop outfits in this DLC. Ever since the original Heist update, when we had the first cop outfit glitch, players have wanted to be able to save and wear cop outfits, but for whatever reason, Rockstar has always patched the glitches and blacklisted such outfits. We know there are already cool accessories like weapon holsters, badges, utility belts, and a bunch of police outfit assets already in the game, and I'm sure they'll add even more with this update, but it's finally time to let us actually buy and save these outfits ourselves, or unlock them in some way. And same goes for the bodyguard and CEO vests that have been in the game since 2015. Just let us finally buy and use these things ourselves without having to do glitches. It looks like this is going to be the most cop-like update we'll ever see in GTA Online, so it's the perfect time to finally add in cop outfits to the game. And if they don't add them in this update, then I don't really know when they would. Next thing, let's talk day 1 content. We need a healthy amount of content day 1 of the DLC. The Chop Shop DLC started out with us only getting 3 out of the 5 missions, mostly because they were weekly missions and there's only 3 a week. And that's actually part of the reason why it felt so lackluster on launch, because if you just played for a couple of hours, you could easily complete the new content and then just be left with the tow truck missions. And one of the best parts of the Chop Shop update was, in my opinion, the Cluckenbell raid, and that didn't come out until 3 months later in March. So the day 1 content needs to have some sort of replayability to it so it doesn't just get boring in a couple hours. Whether that means they introduce some brand new progression system, and maybe that's how you unlock some of the new cop cars or weapons or skins and outfits in the DLC, that would be neat. Kind of like how in Red Dead Online you progress the bounty hunter role and you unlock more stuff towards that. I actually like that system. I wouldn't mind if that came to GTA Online. And the last thing that the summer 2024 Vigilante, Police DLC, whatever you want to call it, needs is substantial changes to vehicles. And when I say this, the main thing I'm talking about is the Bambushka changes that they mentioned. If the Bambushka is going to be buffed, it needs to be significant. If I log in the day of the DLC and test the Bambushka and its turrets are still dysfunctional, that's going to be very disappointing. If the armor on it is only slightly better to where it's hardly a difference when it comes to its usability, then it's pointless. But even outside the Bambushka, there were a few vehicles in the last update, the Chop Shop update, that had broken features. The Illusion is the one that immediately comes to mind, with its default broken headlights. That's probably the biggest one. The Astrope GZ also has duplicate bumper options. One is supposed to look different, but they look the same. And it's also missing a suspension upgrade in Los Angeles Customs. Even though one does exist for it, you can't select it in the shop. It's not listed there. So things like this should be touched up and addressed. Even though they are minor, they do affect the vehicles in a major way. And if you're spending millions of dollars, then you want the vehicle to be complete and with all its features. Anyways, let me know your thoughts on this list, and what do you think the DLC needs to get right in order for it to be a success to you? Let me know down in the comments. If you enjoyed the video or found it helpful, feel free to leave a like as well as subscribe to my channel for more GTA Online content. I also want to give a huge shout out to all my channel members for your support. If you'd like to become a member for some exclusive perks, you can either use the join button or the link that's down in the description. And as always, thanks for watching and have a great day.